Well, the Trust was originally set up to deal with land management issues outside of the protected areas. Our original founders, for example, were fishermen who were concerned about fish numbers, and it didn't take us very long at all to realise that if you want to look after fish numbers, you have to look after water quality. If you want to look after water quality, you have to look after land management. If you want to look after land management, you have to look at all the things driving why we live on the land the way we do. One of the main problems we have is we have an industrial legacy on our rivers, where the rivers were basically dammed or put behind weirs, and the power generated was used to run our industry. But when you put a weir on a river, you essentially put a tourniquet on it. You stop the movement of species within it, you stop the transfer of energy along it, you stop the transfer of gravel and material and sand downstream. And this really badly affects the river's ecology and its energetics. And so what we're trying to do is relink these habitats on the Mole, the River Mole, which is a tributary of the River Tor. We've put in one of the first naturalised fish passes in this country. So what we've done is removed an ancient, quite ugly weir which had very little historical value and didn't protect any infrastructure. It's called a boulder ramp, and it's the first in the country. And immediately upstream, we've seen fish numbers increase massively as a result. We walk the entire length of the river, mapping all the issues we come across. We look at land use. You know, in some cases, we're farming areas that should store water over season to protect from drought and flooding. You know, we've subsidised people in the past to farm them, but in this more enlightened age, perhaps we need to look at paying the farmers not to produce food from them, and paying them for their income foregone, and getting those areas to store water for us again, to provide drinking water and to provide flood defence. So these are other services that we're recognising that society needs from the land, but currently there are no markets for them. There's only a market for food production. There's a lot of work going on the uplands and the moorlands as well within this kind of area of work, and it's being done to address an issue of drainage of the moors. So blocking those drains with natural products like heather bales and wooden blocks, and the peat recreates itself. And what you get then up on the moor is a massive additional amount of water storage. And I think they've estimated on Exmoor that, for example, if they were to block all the existing grips, you could store, you know, a decent proportion of the amount of water that's held within Wimberpool Reservoir. But it wouldn't be another reservoir, it'd be this wonderful natural environment that just stored water as it naturally would. But it would be providing many of the services that we get from Wimberpool, just in a much more environmentally friendly way.